Okay, recording. This is a sneak peek into a one-on-one call. No, we decided to record because there are going to be some good nuggets shared. But first, I wanted to start out with goals. So you just hit diamond. You're in what, week 3 of
Yes.
qualification,
Three.
which is awesome. Okay, so what's your next goal? Besides holding,
Star.
obviously that's a goal.
Nope, I have it. 2-star by January 2nd, because that's a Thursday.
Nice.
I looked it up. So I don't know. I'm trying to I honestly don't even really know what that entails. I need to really look up like how many I need and what all of that looks like. So I need to do that. But I was kind of like taking the week to like reset and look at a couple of things this weekend. And then I was like, okay, like I need to set a deadline because I won't do it. So
All you need is 10 coaches. They can all
okay.
be discount. Um, they don't have to be 5 and 5,
Okay.
4 and 6.
Okay.
Um, obviously you have to have at least 4 because for your diamond. But
Mm-hmm.
10 coaches and 1 diamond on each leg. So they do have to be opposite legs.
Okay.
Um, and so because of that, I would put, now that you're a diamond, so let's get you to solid diamond, which in my opinion is 6 on each side.
Okay.
With your emeralds, it's like super solid diamond is 6 on each side and 2 emeralds on each side. But if you have emeralds that you can control, that's a little bit less of a necessity.
Okay.
So, you know, you've got Michael and you've got your mom. So that's not really a big deal for you to have multiple emeralds because you could come in and make something happen on their account if you need to. But after you get that solid diamond where you've got 6 on each side, my advice to you would be to start building Michael.
Okay.
Because it is going to be much, much easier for you to build his account than it will be to have 2 working coaches go diamond by that time. Completely doable, as you know.
Absolutely.
You really don't need that much time to go diamond. But just reality, if there's something you can control, do it.
Right.
So you can control Michael's account. That's what you should do.
Okay.
And then, I mean, I've known people that have gone 2-star with, they've controlled all of it. Like you could build Michael and your mom if you really wanted to. Which, you know, if you build Michael and you go 1-star and you're still solid diamond, then I would say start working on your mom. Something that's shifting a little bit just in my mindset with this business, the more I talk to people outside of Team VIP, Success Club is important, sure. But in the grand scheme of things, it's far more important for you to go 2-star than it is to hit Success Club. When it comes to like lifelong business. Now, obviously when you hit Success Club, you are, you know, qualifying for a Success Club trip, but I'll be totally honest, it's not that hard to do.
Yeah.
About it. Not that hard to do. There are so many people that can't go on trips that like, so for example, I'm not going next year. I haven't told people that, but I'm not. So I declined my invitation. I have since received 2 more invitations. That's how many they've gone down the list.
Right.
So that's not that hard to qualify for. Now, it does help for you to pay for the Success Club trip when you get Success Club points. You're paying for that next year. But that is saving, like when you get Success Club points to pay for the trip, that's saving you some money. But the reverse or the alternate of that is building someone else's account, getting Success Club points under your husband to make you go 2-star. The money that is the potential for money there is so much bigger than money that you're going to save on paying for Success.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
So,
and that's kind of where I felt like I was at whenever, especially when I was trying to go diamond. And I remember you texting me like, don't worry about Success Club. And I was like, I'm so glad you said that. Cause that's where my mindset was, is honestly, I had to tell myself like, I'm not even worried about this right now. I don't care. Like fine, Success Club, whatever. But like, I already know I've helped more than 3 people this month, and it just hasn't been on my account. It's been
Yep.
between my mom and Michael, and so I was like, I'm not worried about it. And that's how I kind of felt. I was like, you know what? Once I hit like these bigger milestones that I want to get to, then I'll start worrying about like, okay, I can make that happen first and then do other stuff. But I'm like, long term, I'm like, I want to build this first and then
Yep.
figure it out. So I'm glad that you said that though.
Yeah. It's just, you have to think big. If you're in this for the, for the long haul, you got to think big picture. What is going to serve you best? So for example, right now for me, this month, I have signed up 5 people and I'm at SC0.
Right.
Because I'm building Tim. So that's and Tim's not even at Success Club. Like he hasn't even hit Success Club. I am trying to build him. So I'm like drawing from old customers and I'm getting them signed up as DCs and I'm, so it just, that is my goal. And so that's what I'm working toward. Now, after he goes diamond, then I'll try to start hitting SC, but it's not important right now. So, okay. To start by January 2nd. I love it. Okay, what I wanted to talk through tonight is the first is what does everyone's action hour look like? But I do want to hear from you. What are you typically doing when you sit down to work your business? What does that look like?
So the last few weeks I've kind of been breaking it apart, and I'm kind of having to like give myself some grace and restructure how I do this because the beginning of the school year is kicking my butt. It's been, I didn't start out the year last year as a coach. And so I'm kind of like at the point of the year when I did start, it was already halfway through the year and whatever. So I'm just trying to kind of like give myself some grace with that. But right now I've been trying to get up. So like in the morning I get up and I was doing basically what Rachel said on that call where she did that teacher hour call, like teacher hour, power hour, whatever. So like doing my stuff in the morning and then doing something where I'm like either like happy birthdays to people who are, whatever, connecting with people on that, responding to comments. And then right before I hit diamond, I was making sure I was sending out at least 5 invites every morning. And then when I would get home and after I put the kids to bed, then I would sit down and either like respond to those. So my first thing would be to respond. And then if I needed to get out, 5 more, 5 to 10 more, if I could do that. So I was really focusing on like sending out the invites and then following up. And then one of my biggest things right now has been trying to connect with people on social media, like really making sure I'm like commenting and doing that kind of stuff, just because that's kind of been a struggle for me. So I started doing the whole like set my timer for like 15 minutes or so, and basically just like anything I see, like I comment or I like, or I try, and I'm trying to send messages and comment on things for people. And I've noticed that since I've started doing that and just really making sure that I'm commenting on anyone else that comments on my pictures, I've gotten a lot more like kind of interaction with my stuff. And so that's been good. So yeah, just like focusing on getting my invites out first. Cause I think sometimes too, if I don't do that first, I get bogged down with like not feeling like I didn't do anything. So I'm like, invites first, get those done.
Yes.
And it helps if I can get some done in the morning and then like responding and then doing like connecting with people and doing that. So
nice. Yeah.
A lot of times if I have time too, since I'm running my challenge groups, I try to make sure I have all my posts scheduled, and like if I have some extra time, try to get ahead on that so I can schedule them out so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm 1000% the same way with invites. I have to do them first or they don't happen. Because I'm like, oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to do this. And then I've spent like an hour and a half, all of nap time, working my business, but not doing anything that is an income producing activity.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, that was a waste. When, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a waste, but for my goals right now, it's not getting me closer to those goals. So I think that's really important to remember, is to structure your action hour with the most income producing activities first, then kind of the fun stuff. Some people really love inviting. I don't know who those people are, but it's important. Okay. I also want to know, well, first of all, I think that that's great. Your action hour structure sounds awesome. And you're really living proof that this business can be built in the cracks of your day. It really, it's something, and it's going to look different for everyone. I think that when we're thinking about the types of people that we want to join us, though, it's the people that are going to resonate with, I don't have a lot of time, you know, and when they see people that are, you know, staying home, like working the business full time, sometimes it's a little bit hard to relate to that. Like, well, that's great for you, you know, but for you, it's like, no, listen, I work full time. I'm married to a coach and I got 2 babies. Like I got 0 time and I'm killing it. So that's really, really good. I would encourage you to share that a little bit more in your stories of like, hey, got 5 minutes. This is what I'm doing, you know?
Yeah,
And
I thought about that. I was like, I really need to, because like Jessica had posted something. She was like her kid fell asleep in the back seat, and she was like sitting in my car while my kid sleeps. And I was like, why don't I do that? Like, I need to remember that, because that's like, yeah. So
yeah, I need to do
sometimes
better
I
about
just
it too,
get
but
fast-paced though, and I forget. And I'm like, when I was like over the summer at the end, I was like, you know, I could sit down in nap time, and I was like, oh, let me video this. Oh, no. And I'm like, I need to just like get back in that mindset.
Even if you don't have time to post it right away, if you just snap a picture and then do it later that night, post it on your stories. People don't really look at timestamps or anything like that. So that's something that I've even done too, just with Judah. I'm like, okay, I need to document this, but he's screaming, so I can't really post it right now. But yeah, that's always helpful for people to see. So definitely do that. Because it is encouraging too to see like that's how you're working the business and you're being successful. So it's not just like, hey, I'm doing this, you know, and nothing's happening. Like, no, this is working. This is actually building a business. Okay. Now I want to know what is your accountability style? So like when you have a goal that you're working toward, what is the best thing for you to like be motivated to work toward that goal? Like, are you encouraged by like, you can do it cheerleading style? Are you encouraged by, Molly, you said you were going to do this and you're not, like kick in the butt style? Like what is motivating to you?
You know, I go round and round about this, because I like can't, I don't know, sometimes I struggle, because I'm like, sometimes when I'm frustrated and I'm looking for like, if I'm like down, I look for like encouragement, you know what I mean? Like if I'm just really frustrated and I'm like, I just don't even know if I'm going to do this. I don't know if I can make this happen. You know, like I need recognition. I need like every time, like there was a point like with the diet stuff. Do what?
Do you know what your Enneagram number is?
I think I'm a 3, but I haven't taken an official test.
I think you're a 3 too, but
I think I'm a 3. I mean, everything I've read, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's me.
Well, when you say recognition, nobody likes recognition like a 3.
Well, and what's funny is that I didn't really realize that about myself. And so I think that's kind of when I said, like, I've had trouble, because I always used to be like, oh, kick me in the butt and tell me like I need whatever. But then I started realizing like when I was down with my business and like I was frustrated, and then like all of a sudden like Rachel would post in the Joy Dynasty and be like, Molly, you're the top recruiter right now. I was like, what?
Yeah, what? Look at me.
You're doing really good. Okay, stop being so, you know, whatever. And like I just didn't realize it about myself until I started kind of doing some of this, and I was like, oh, maybe I do kind of need that like recognition and like kind of like encouragement. And
yeah. Good. Okay.
I know I need to take my test. I told Michael I really want to take one. We just need to do it.
Yeah. I would bet money on you being a 3, just because I'm a 3 and I think we're very similar. But it's always helpful to know, just because Enneagram is so, it's so much different than any other, because it's about motivation and not behavior. So I think that that's just super helpful to know. So if you're watching this recording, you need to tell me what your Enneagram number is. Okay. So I want you to think about this question. If you don't have an answer for it right now, that's okay. But I want you to give it to me before next week. And I want you to finish this sentence. So if I just either knew or had, if I just knew this, or if I just had this, I would be successful. Or if I just knew this, I would reach my goal. Or if I just had this, I would reach my goal. So think about that. If something comes, to you right away, you can share it with me. But the reason I'm asking this is because I have noticed myself saying some of those sentences, and that is like a limiting belief just coming to the surface. Because the reality is you have everything you need right now to reach your goal. You have everything you need to be successful right now. And if you don't, you can make it. So if you said, if I just had more time, I'd be successful. You can make more time. You can wake up earlier, you can stay up later, whatever. If I just knew more about Instagram, I could be successful. Well, guess what? There's like 1 million trainings about Instagram on YouTube. So that's kind of my, poor Rachel.
What?
She was confused. She thought it was at a different time. She can catch the recording. But so that's kind of my point is I don't want you to just kind of go through the motions and say something like, easy, like if I just had more time. Really think about like what comes to mind, like what are you telling yourself on a daily basis? Like what is that thing that keeps creeping in your head when you fail at something or when you don't do your action hour? What is it that got in the way? And what are you telling yourself? Well, if Michael didn't have a game, I would do this. Or if Harley actually took a nap, I would, whatever it might be, get really specific for you so that you can overcome that. And if you could come up with a couple of examples, because there's always more than one, a couple of examples, and we'll talk about that kind of next time and kind of brainstorm, how to overcome that. But that's kind of my, I guess, not advice, but just my encouragement for you and for everyone today is that if there is something that you feel like is standing in your way, it's not actually that thing that's standing in your way. It's your belief in how big that thing is that's standing in your way. So for me, I have been thinking lately, like if I was just more organized, I would be successful. Well, get it together, Haley. Be more organized, right? Like, so that's something that I'm working on, and I'm actually starting to delegate a little bit to Tim. He's going to help me on the Enneagram. My husband is a 2, but he has a 1 wing. So he is uber organized and really, really good at that kind of stuff. So I know that I am not, and he's going to help me out. So, okay. And then I'm going to let you go in just a minute, but kind of my last thought for the night is always, always, always know what you're working towards. So that's why I asked you what your goal was at the beginning of the call, because if you don't have something specific that you're working for, and you can attest to this, think about your motivation and your drive in April versus August. April, you had this, goal of being diamond at some point, but in August, you're like, no, I'm going to be diamond by August 22nd. And you did it because you knew exactly what you were working for and you knew exactly what you needed to get there. Okay. You had mapped it out. You knew you needed this person on this leg, this person on this leg, whatever. And that is always going to get you where you need to go. So much better than just this like theoretical, I want to be this whatever rank, So, always know what you're working toward. You're going to be a 2-star diamond coach by January 2nd. And you're saying that over and over, right? In your affirmations. Yes. And so now what do you need to do to make that happen? I want you to map it out. Okay. So map out your downline, map out, that step 1 is going to be you're a solid diamond with 6 on each side. Step 2 is you're going to build Michael. So map that out. What does that look like? He's already an emerald, so you've got 2. So let's, keep going after that. So always, always, always be looking at your drill down. I'm sure you are obsessive about this because you're trying to hold diamond, but make sure you're looking at your drill down. I would say multiple times a week. If not, put it on your Monday list. Monday is always a good day to look at your drill down because you've got a couple days to make something happen if you need to in an emergency. When you are, looking at kind of the next goal, if you look at your drill down and then you're also mapping things out, like on the road to elite map, what do I need to do to get to team builder? What do I need to do to get to team leader? That kind of thing. Always know what it is you need exactly, so that you can actually, do the things that are going to get you there instead of just this like, oh, I need to help more people. Well, duh, that's what we're doing, but if you can be systematic about it, you're going to have a much higher chance of being successful than just like, oh, I need to help this many people. Okay. Do you have any questions for me or anything that you need help with or anything before I let you go?
I don't think so. I think, we talked about it a little bit before, so I think we're good. I just need to figure out, that's what I was trying to figure out, like, what am I inviting to right now? And like, obviously always sending out coach invites, but like, what am I inviting to with like some other stuff? So I think I feel better about that now too.
Yeah. Oh, this was another thing I was going to ask. I was going to ask you specifically if you would like to run a sneak peek with me, a coach sneak peek.
Yeah.
If we could start running our own, I think that would be awesome because sometimes, I don't know, sometimes it's, if you're inviting someone to join you on your team and you plug them into a sneak peek that's all these other people, sometimes that's confusing. And I feel like we lose some personability there. So you and I can talk about what we want that to look like. If we want it to be a Facebook group or a webinar or a Zoom call or whatever. So maybe be thinking about that and we can put a date on the calendar for that. So we can invite specifically, So
I know I really like, my goal is, I wanted to get this stupid sneak peek group or Snoop group or whatever on Instagram done for my team like a week ago. And I have all the graphics made and I have some of the pictures. Like I need to really sit down and do it. And I'm just like, I just want to get it done. But it's like when I only have pockets, I'm like, I'm trying to make sure I'm doing my inviting rather than doing this stupid thing right now. So it's hard, but I'm like, it's okay. I told Michael, he is done with tournament stuff though. And I was like, I need a couple of hours on the weekends, like to go sit at Starbucks and just get stuff done. Cause I don't have time other than that. And there's a million things for me to do at home.
Yeah. I think that's great. Way to advocate for that. Also know that there's only a couple of the texts that you really need to change. Okay. When you look at mine or Rachel's, it's aside from like your personal story, most of it you can just take word for word.
Okay. And I think I remember that. I just need to get the other pictures and stuff. So
yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So we'll talk about the sneak peek and what we want to do for that. And put that on the calendar. And we can just text about that. Cool. Okay. Well, let's take a little thing. Okie dokie.
Hold on. Get my boomerang
on. Are we booming?
That's what I was going to do. Or we don't have to.
No, that's great. I just need to make sure it's on the right thing. Okay, you tell me when.
Okay, ready, go.
The bobblehead. Team bobblehead.
Love it.
All right. Well, this was fab. Love you. Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks. You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.